And welcome to a new episode of League of DFS. We are in episode 6. We are going to break down the slate that's upcoming. It's a 2-day slate. It goes from Tuesday to Wednesday, but you must have your lineup set by Tuesday, and it locks. There is no late swapping, so be prepared to make your choices and complete them tonight so that you have it ready for tomorrow's game and Wednesday's game. I will show you what the rosters look like, and I will tell you the difference between a best of 1 and a best of 5, break down further into details and why that's important to pay attention to. We are going to be watching EVOS take on Supermassive on Tuesday, and we'll be watching FlashWolves take on Gambit eSports on Wednesday. The winners will then proceed to the next stage where we have a higher level of competition. They'll face off against the LCKs, the best of the LCSs, and the best of LPL. With that, before they get there, let's see if these teams are able to earn themselves that spot. They've battled through the bottom of ranks of all the other regions, and now they're wanting their shot at the mid-season invitational championship. It's a very prestigious title to have, and it's an exciting time for all fans that are paying attention to League of Legends. And naturally, it'll be something that we as DFS players, even if you don't want to follow the League of Legends scene, it will be an opportunity for us to take some money home, because the level of competition right now is lower. There's very few advice out there, and I'm hoping to equip you with the process and hoping to equip you with the right names to plug in so that you can at least take down some of these free money. Okay, they're not free. Naturally, there is a level of competition, but the edge is there for us to take advantage of, because not everyone has a DFS mindset when they try to play League of Legends DFS. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about to begin with is the best of 5 versus the best of 1. If you have played the previous matches of MSI, the best of 1, you don't really care too much for the bonuses that it's given for any team that has a games not played. Those happen for best of 3s and best of 5s. What I mean by that is, if you go to the scoring section of League of Legends, under rules and scoring tab, you will see in here that the notes any players of games that they did not have to play, so they have to be playing in at least 3 games in this best of 5 to win all 3 games, and the games that they did not need to play because they sweep their opponent, they will gain a additional 20 points bonus, which is significant, because if you think about it, most players in a very highly competitive game, they earn roughly around 15 to 25 points, or maybe 30 points for the better players per game. 23 points if they sweep their opponents. If they win 3 matches without dropping a single one of the best of 5s, they'll earn 40 points. That is significant, especially for a team that does not rack up as many stats per game, and you want to pick players from those games to earn the bonus. Now, for players that put up a massive amount of stats, we're talking about on average putting up to 21 and up per game, you might want to pick players that play all 5 games, and you're hoping that it can be a highly competitive match, that they can just score you enough points in every single match, and you'll earn yourself up to the hundreds by the time they finish. So there's a lot of strategy involved. What my personal strategy in terms of looking at the best of 5 games is to focus a little bit, be willing to spend a little bit more on the team slot, because teams don't really earn that many points. But for any games that they don't play, they earn 15 free points. You're talking about 7 Drakes, or maybe a couple of Drakes, Dragons, and the turrets. Those are still free points, and they don't have to lose much in those games. So picking your team that are likely to play 1 game less or 2 game less, that's important, and I'd be willing to spend some of my salaries up on that. In a best of 1, I'm more than willing to punt on the team position. As far as the player goes, each player must play in a game, so don't think you can be sneaky and pick like a player that is not playing, but he's on the winning team and he'll earn like a free 40-point bonus. It doesn't happen. They have to be part of the game to earn those bonus points. So be careful with that. Okay. In future videos, I will break down some more of the scoring, how you can incorporate them into your decision making, but that comes shortly before the summer split. For now, I will just talk about the games that we are coming up. Let's talk about the rosters. EVOS versus Supermassive. You have to know these rosters beforehand. Like I mentioned, locks happen on Tuesday night and you have no late swaps. So you please be familiar with the names. These are the names that we know are likely to start the game. I can't guarantee you that they won't use a sub, but more than likely you'll see these 5 people start off the game for each team. So for EVO's side, since we haven't seen them at MSI yet, unless you've been paying attention to the Vietnamese region, we have no idea who starts, who plays, how often they play, and how often they get subbed out. But if the names of your roster does not have any one of these names, you're likely to get a 0, and getting a 0 can earn yourself out of the green. I would say 95% of the time you will not be able to cash if you pick the wrong player. I've seen some weird things happen, and I'm not banking on weird things to happen again. So make sure you fit your salary cap with the names that appear here. For Evo side, we have Stark, Yijin, Warzone, Slay, Ron, OP. Fabulous, as we know, Stomage, GBM, Zeitnot, Snowflower on the Supermassive side. What Vegas is telling us, what betting sites are telling us, I will continue to revert them for Vegas, even though I don't know if Vegas do provide these odds. But Bovada do, and what they're telling us aligns with what analyst tells me, is that this game will likely be close. We could see a 5-game stretch, we could see a 4-game stretch between EVOS and Supermassive. The favorite side right now is on Supermassive, and it's easy to see they look fantastic coming out of the play-in stage against every opponent they've played so far, and EVOS has not really impressed anyone, even when playing against their own region, which is likely a weaker region. I haven't heard much about the Vietnamese region to make a educated discussion about them, but from what I've heard so far, EVOS is on the weaker side, but they're regarded as better than all the teams that are in the play-in, so we'll see. So this is why a game is close. We are likely to see these team players play multiple games. So if you are targeting, if your process is to target players that play a full 5-game stretch, this might be the game you want to focus on. I don't have a problem. I think I will be leaning Supermassive myself, and I'll stack that team in my main lineup and maybe sprinkle in some EVOS as a punt, punt player that I might need to save salary here and there, because there's no way, I've tried it in all different combinations, there's no way you're getting out without a punt if you go with FlashWolves and Supermassive. Those are 2 favorite teams. Looking at the Wednesday matchup, FlashWolves is a stronger team in my opinion. Some may disagree with me. I know some of the people that I talk to have some worry about their roster, about their region, about their competitiveness. For me, I know Supermassive has been in international stages before. They were at Worlds. They were perhaps not the strongest team at Worlds because they don't stack up well against the Koreans and the Chinese, and even against LCS. But for the most part, I do think that they are strongest out of all the 4 teams that we're talking about here today. They used to have Karsa, who is now with the LPL team Royal Never Give Up. But so they replaced him with Mujin. Now I've seen them using substitution before on some of their rosters, but heading in, they will definitely start off with Hanabi, Mujin, Maple, Betty, Sword Art. So those are the 5 that you want to pay attention to. On the other side, we are very familiar with Gambit eSports, Dejos, Diamond, Prox, Kira, Lodic, Edward. This game is slated to be less competitive, or slated to be more one-sided. Everyone expects FlashWolf to win. Now, do I guarantee that they'll sweep Gambit eSports? Not likely. So at the same time, we do expect FlashWolves to win, so I will have exposure on FlashWolves in all of my lineups that I try to create, unless I decide to do a hedge punt lineup where I stack Gambit eSports for my contrarian play. So that's how my cash lineups kind of look like right now. As you can tell, the salaries are sorted according to the way that the betting lines are set up. FlashWolves, Supermassive, EVOS, Gambit, eSports, that's how they're separated by. And again, I mentioned I'm going to stay on the safer side. I'm going to pick Supermassive and FlashWolves to win. This is how I'll start off my stack, and then I'll figure out what my flexes will be later on. Likely there will be a punt. I will either punt with a Gambit eSports person, or I will punt with an EVOS. Again, if I believe that EVOS is going to have a closer match, I will punt with EVOS. And then if I think Gambit Gaming actually makes more sense value-wise and that they could take a game or two from FlashWolves, I would take a punt with Gambit eSports player. This is an example of where I'm going to start off with Fabulous, Damage, Maple, Zeitnot, Sword Art, and Supermassive. I will likely make some changes, but the overall idea I think I provided you with is to build around Supermassive and build around FlashWolves. If you can somehow make it work where you don't need a punt, please let me know, because I don't. I've tried different combinations before. So this is what we have to look forward to. Please, please, please make sure you have your lineup set by tonight if you are planning to play and you don't wake up in time for the 6 a.m. game. I'm sorry, it's a 5 a.m. 6 a.m. is Central Time. So the game starts around 5 a.m. Eastern Time. Any questions you might have, please feel free to touch base with me on Twitter, prime_time. And also, we are open to inviting anyone who wants to join our group meet to discuss League of Legends and discuss how to set up your DFS lineup. We bounce off ideas, we discuss strategies, we discuss different types of stacking method, and we discuss maybe how to take down a GPP with a contrarian build. Contact me and I will send you an invite. It is a limited invite only, and just hope to see you there. If you're planning to play, please let me know how I did in this episode. Please let me know how I can improve. I'm hoping to get better by the time Summer Split hits. If you have any questions, if you want to learn about LOL DFS, please contact me. This has been another episode of League of Legends DFS.